I wanted to have a chat with Richard from Richard Runs Trails. He has an excellent YouTube channel and is a good and is an ultra runner with really good content on his channel. And I just wanted to kind of introduce him to my viewers and have a discussion today. Um, so, Richard, I just wanted to talk to you some about your background and some of the races you've done and about your upcoming Lovit race.
Sure.
My first question is, what got you started running to begin with?
That's a good question. Back in the early 90s, when I was in college, my fraternity, we made all of our money from fight nights, basically boxing tournaments. And we partnered with the local youth clubs, put on the tournaments. They provided all the equipment, and we put it on, and we gave half the money to it's the boys club. And it's actually the Arlington Boys Club, so very close to you. Okay. And because I went to UTA, and we had to box in the boxing tournaments. And at one point, I was the president of the fraternity, and everyone wanted to beat up on the president of the fraternity. So, so I fought actually twice, and it was one of those Rocky Balboa things. We thought when you trained that you had to run. So me and the rest of the guys that were doing the boxing, we just went out and run, and it kind of caught on. I was never very good at boxing, but I really enjoyed running, and started running through college. And after college, I got into some mountain bike racing. I did some mountain bike racing in Texas and in Oklahoma, and I even did a 100-mile event in Kansas one time, I remember. And got into road biking. I did the Hotter Than Hell 100 probably 5 times in Wichita Falls. And so I got into biking, and then I kind of got into duathlons because I liked running. And that was, the late 90s is when duathlons were kind of big. I mean, they're still around, but you don't see them very often. But I did quite a few of those. And then I did a few triathlons. I did the sprint, ones where you swam in the pool, but I was terrible at swimming. I even got kicked in the face one time. So triathlon's not for me. And I just really started focusing on running. I still did a lot of mountain biking, but I really enjoyed the running. I got into, just like everyone, I got into maybe half marathons and marathons. And I think I did probably 20 different marathons, and mostly around Texas. I did one in Mississippi. And I lived 10 years in China. I came back in 2016. But I did 3 marathons in Asia. I did 2 in Shanghai and 1 in Hong Kong. So some international marathons. I ran a lot when I was in China when the air was good. Very interesting. When you're living in China, you have an app on your phone to see what the smog level is, so if you can run or not. That's something we don't have to worry about in the U.S.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kept up with my running. I really enjoyed it. Ran a lot in China, beautiful places, and have some beautiful ultra marathons there too. I haven't done yet. Actually, some near where our house is. We have a house that we still own and rent out in Chengdu, which is where people don't know where Chengdu is. That's where all the pandas come from. So it's very close to Tibet. Well, I moved back to the U.S. in, I think it was 2016. I spent 2 years in California in the Bay Area. This is where I got a job, trying to get back to Texas, but I got my job in California. And the mountains there are beautiful. I mean, the trails, and it's paradise in California when it comes to running on trails. I never ran on trails before. And I did a few road races there, like turkey trots and stuff like that. But I said, well, I'm going to do a 50K. So my first 50K was actually in Oakland, California, in the mountains there. Skyline 50K, I think it's called. It's still going on today. It's a really tough one. And I got hooked. And
I noticed your first ultra results in ultra sign up were in California. So I was just
that's where it all got started. Actually, I back up a little bit. My first ultra was a 6-hour event, and I actually finished 28 miles. So that was my first ultra. That was in California also. And then I did a bunch of 50Ks. And then I got the idea that I want to qualify for Western States, because that's all the talk in California. Yeah. And so I actually flew back to Texas, stayed with my parents, which live in San Antonio area. And I ran the Bandera 100K. I didn't qualify because you got to get under 17 hours, but that was my first 100K. And a few years later, moved back to Texas, and now that's all I do is trail running, ultra running. I've done a few ultras on the road, like one in Marble Falls. That was a 50K. But most of my focus now is on trail running. I've done some ruck racing. We've talked about that before. The Jackalope Jam, which you're actually doing next. I did the 48-hour event out there. I like that a lot. I've gotten a lot into weight training and cycling still. So I'm doing a little bit of everything. Also skiing on my ski machine. I'm actually in a ski competition right now against everyone globally called the Ski ERG Classic or something. I don't know. But all of them are cross training from the trail runner.
Yeah, it's just that's all I was going to ask, and you've already answered it. So you have quite the gym there. It's awesome. It's very impressive.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the skiing. I've done weight training and stuff, and I've seen some results, but the skiing has really helped me a lot. And I don't know, it uses a lot of back muscles and stuff like that. And I was watching a recent interview with Jim Walmsley, and he was talking about he's moving to France for 2 years, and the main reason is so he can do skiing and skimo and Nordic skiing. The U.S. ultra runners have figured out that that's the edge that the Europeans have, because the Europeans, they have come from orienteering and mountain sports to trail running, whereas the U.S. runners have come from road running. So the skiing, they think, is some secret sauce. So anyways,
that interview, I think it was the skiing and just the fact that they live in the mountains and are up there all the time. They always know how to layer properly and get ready.
Yeah, so they're all year round. They're in the mountains. So that's kind of how I got started.
I was also just you've already mentioned some of the races you finished, but I have seen you do Rocky Raccoon and you do Bandera about every year.
I've got a new motto that I don't want to do the same race over again, but because there's so many races around the U.S., I want to do some in like Alabama and Tennessee, like Pinhoti and No Business 100. There's so many beautiful races everywhere. In Arkansas, I'm doing a new one, the Lovit, coming up, but Bandera is the only one that have an exception on that. I'll do that every year. It's 2.5 hours away, and they do such a good job. It's a golden ticket race, so the Tejas Trails just really puts a big focus on it. I really like that one a lot, and I've done Javelina 100 twice in Phoenix area. So those were two races that the first time I only made it 82 miles. I had some lower back issues. And then I went out there the next year. My brother was out there too. He's an ultra runner. He might actually join this conversation. I told him about it. We call him the ultra trucker. He's a trucker for Tyson Foods. And anyways, he went out there the second year, did the 100K, and I did the 100-miler, and we both finished. So, which is kind of neat. But my plan going forward is just to do more races out of state or races I haven't done before. So Arkansas races, I've only done one, and they're very serious. Like, I consider them kind of master's level trail race, and I'm not quite at master's level yet, so I'm really pushing it. But I did the Arkansas Travelers last year, and it was the first time I didn't make cutoff, or I just didn't have any time to continue after 60 hours, and not 60 hours, 60 miles. So I know what I'm in for, and so I've been really training really hard, and this Run Lovit is more difficult race.
I was reading on their website, it says make sure your ankles are really strong.
Yeah, and like when we were in school, when the teacher said it's going to be an open book test, it was going to be a hard test. This one, they give you 34 hours instead of 30 hours, so you're in for it.
Pictures from the course, and I've talked to people that have run it. They say it's just beautiful.
It is. My brother lives only a few hours from there, 3 hours from there. He lives in Springdale, and he's went out and trained on it and stayed out there twice, actually. And he says it's very beautiful. It's a tough course, but it's like I always tell people, all 100 milers are tough. I mean, it's just tough in different ways, But it's got 18,000 feet of ascent and descent, and but it's nice. I mean, they give you 4 extra hours. I figure if I can keep a consistent pace and spare my time in aid stations, I think I can do it. So
3 miles an hour,
that I'll finish.
Just some of that's really tough to do 3 miles an hour on.
Yeah, it is. But there's a lot of downhill too. So if I can just use gravity and keep going.
Pretty sure how it goes for you. I'm excited
Yeah,
for it.
I'm excited about it. So it's not this weekend, but it's the weekend after. So one thing that's tough about it, Jay, is I've done this before in some Tejas Trail races. Is it starts at night, and I kind of know what I'm in for there because I'm one of these guys that gets up at 5 a.m. I get up. It doesn't matter what day of the year it is. I just get up early, and so I have to. I'm going to drive up there, and the race starts at 5 p.m. So I'm going to try to take a break once I get up there and just kind of rest my eyes a little bit. And I may have to rest my eyes on the trail a little bit at some point, but I'm going to take off Friday night at 5 p.m. and I probably won't finish until early Sunday morning.
So what are you going to get in, like an hour and a half before it turns dark, I guess?
Yeah. And that most people will finish, in the very late Saturday evening or early Sunday morning. So I think we have until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning Sunday to finish.
Yeah, so you kind of get 2 nights, but
yeah,
it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun, and I'd like to, check that one off the list. That's, really a tough one in the South. And then if I can finish both Arkansas races, I'd like to do Arkansas Traveler this year in the fall again. If I can finish both races, then I'd like to do like Penhody in Alabama, which is very famous, the Penhody Trail. And then there's some in Tennessee and, others in Georgia too. I'd like to do the Georgia Jewel, and there's a couple of them in Georgia that I like to do. So there's just so many races to do. And, there's a lot of races up north that they're all over the places. There's some beautiful races. In Oklahoma, there's several races I haven't done either. So
Getting away from work.
Yeah.
I don't mean to get off subject, but I do have to bring up something I saw this morning because you were talking about your brother, the ultra trucker.
Yeah.
That I saw a thing this morning that the Garmin is coming out with a version of the Instinct 2.
Yeah.
Which is a special battery reading. It's a special version for truckers.
We talked about that, and it does have some special features where it lets you get points with Love truck stops. You've seen Love's truck stops, and it also send you messages, warnings about the weight scale stops. Because truckers are always trying to avoid them.
Okay, and
where
y'all talked about that, so.
Yeah, well, he's interested because he's a big Garmin Fenix fan too. He's got the Garmin Fenix 6 too, and I think he's always talking to Garmin. Funny thing is, they have a very big distribution center in Olathe, Kansas, where Garmin is, and my brother is always running on the Garmin track.
Cool.
So he says when he's running around the Garmin track, he can see the robots inside assembling they assemble the aviation and boating stuff in Olathe. All the watches are actually assembled in Taiwan. So,
Okay, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
I know you have still pretty small children. You still work your full-time job.
Yeah.
How do you get all your training and for all these ultras into your life?
That's a good question. I usually do my training during the day. When I'm working from home, because I'm in procurement, I do like electronic sourcing and stuff. I've been doing that for a long time. So a lot of my meetings are like really late at night. I'm working for an Indian company right now. So, they get to work at 10 p.m. my time. So I do training during the day and also on the weekend. And I don't do as much running as I did long ago. I might do 30, 40 miles a week, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. I kind of lean on the lifetime of miles, Yeah. And I race an ultra almost every month. So that's kind of my long run for the month. So I'm not doing a few races a year, where people do like 3-4 month training blocks. I don't do that. I have long runs every month, and I just enjoy it. I'm just going out there to finish. I'm not trying to place or anything like that. I just try to go out there and finish. And my weight training and like right now, these last few weeks, I'll run or bike in the morning, and then I'll ski at night before I have some meetings. So I try to do 2 workouts a day, and it's a lot easier when I'm working from home. When I was working at the office, I would go running at lunch. Yeah, I would go running at lunch. I'd do like a 10K at lunch, and in Austin, and that worked out really well. And then I kind of snack, so I wouldn't go out and take a big lunch like everyone else. I would just eat a few snack bars or something during the day, but at lunch I would go running. So I think you can do it. You just have to break it up.
That's what I was doing when I was working, was going, I didn't usually get in 6 miles, but I'd get in 4 miles or so at lunch.
Yeah. I think you really, elite runners, they need to put in the 80, 100 miles a week or whatever. But if you're doing it for fun and you're racing often, I think that, 30 miles a week is enough, or maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But if you're doing cycling, because I don't take any days off. I mean, very, very rarely, unless I really don't feel bad. I feel bad. So if I'm not, like this week, mostly cycling every day because my hip's been a little bit sore. But usually I'll cycle one day, run the next day, cycle the next day, run the next day. And then I'll do weight training or skiing every day.
I'm probably pretty similar to you. I'm probably not getting as much cross training these days, but I'm probably running 30 to 40 miles a week.
Mm-hmm.
But also doing I'm adding a lot of walking in.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Walking, I'm probably up to about 50 miles a week on average. So,
it's interesting you bring that up, because I was talking with Steve and our friend in Georgia about this recently. I've been in ultras, and you probably have seen the same. I've been passed by people walking, and some people can walk 14.5-minute miles or even faster. So I've been improving. What I do is I just watch them, how they're doing it, and I copy it, fast hand motion, because late in ultras, I do walking. I do walking all the time, and I've gotten where I can do it pretty fast. It's a little bit slower if I have hiking poles, because sometimes late in ultras I have hiking poles, but being able to walk fast is really important in trail racing, and it gives your body a rest.
I was planning before my upcoming race to practice fast walking quite a bit, but I haven't done it as much as I did. It got up this morning and I did 3.5 miles at a fast pace, trying to get used to
it. It's a real skill. And there's a gentleman that's in a lot of Tejas trail races. I don't know his name, but I always see him. And if you're not jogging quite a bit and keeping up with your pace, he's going to pass you, and he's only walking. He's really fast, and he walks the whole ultra. I mean, fast walking. He's probably between 14 to 15-minute miles. He's very conservative at the. Does almost no time at the aid stations, and he's got a really good strategy. And I've listened to some podcasts where these runners that do these 24-hour races, some of the best in the U.S., walking is a big part of their strategy.
Well, I was fascinated. One of the things I looked at, the guy from California holds the record for number of 100-milers. The Jester at Eddinghausen has done 208 or something. But the woman that he just passed was a woman from England who's done a little over 200. But most of them she ran some, but most of them she was just doing walks, 24-hour races and walking. And she was walking 100 miles in 24 hours. And she's done like over 100 of them just walking 24 hours straight and getting 100 miles done in less than 24 hours.
That's really amazing, because I've finished 400 or 500 milers, and I think my best time is like 26 hours. And I can tell you that the first 30 miles I'm probably around 10-11-minute pace, and I degrade over time. But when people do that, I just don't know how to do it. I would love to walk a lot faster, because I think that would be a good strategy to walk a mile, jog a mile, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that, but I'm amazed. I don't think I could walk for 100 miles straight.
Well, it's tough. I mean, I did that in the rucking race, and I jogged a little bit to get ahead of one guy, a couple of laps at Jackalope Jam, but that, doing anything for 24 hours, walking, jogging, it's tough. So,
okay, I have a question. What has been your favorite race you've done?
I think no question is the Javelina 100. And Jamil with Ari Vaipa, they're just the best race director in the U.S. There's nobody even close, and they keep kicking it up a notch. With the live view, drones and stuff. I was watching Black Canyon over the weekend, and now even Javelina, they're doing that. They didn't do it when I was running there, but you can watch the races live with drones and stuff. But when the event is the way they do it, and the aid stations. I mean, they have such big sponsors. You know, one aid station had pizza, the next one had cheeseburgers, and you know they have 1,000 runners. They're still being able to do that. I mean, one aid station had a disco ball late at night. I mean, it's just with the music and the excitement. It's
try to get out to one of their races at least
next level. Yeah, it's next level. I mean, I remember the start. They did it both years, but they had someone out there blowing fire out of their mouth at the start. I mean,
wow.
It's like one of those, I forget the name, but like one of those big parties in the desert, you know, that people have all the time. But
so it'd be fun.
Yeah, it's next level. I think they're really, I mean, the races are more expensive. I mean, it's like $350 for a 100-miler. You know, that's quite a, you know, it's $150 at least more than most races, but they do a really good job. I highly recommend it. I like to do the Black Canyon one. I haven't done that one. Maybe sometime I'll do that one.
That made me want to go do it.
Highly recommend it. Yeah.
And I guess you just look at it. You're paying money to go travel there. You're paying a little bit extra for the race. It's just quite an experience. So
it is exactly. And you need to rent a car, you know, but it's convenient because there's a lot of flights into Phoenix. Even from Austin, there are some direct flights, but from like big cities like Dallas, you can fly directly in there. The tickets are not too expensive. You need to rent a car because Fountain Hills, where the race is, it's about 40 minutes outside of Phoenix. So you can stay in a hotel out there, and it's a suburb of Phoenix, basically. But you need to rent a car, and yeah, it's some extra cost, but I highly recommend it.
I'm really looking forward to hearing about your Lovit. I mean, we've already talked about it some.
Yeah.
But what other races I saw on Ultra Sign Up? You're signed up for some more races in the future. Can you tell us what else?
Yeah, yes, I can. I had a big credit with Trail Racing Over Texas, and I was a little bit concerned that they're going to go out of business, you know, because they've divided, you know, gave some of their races to Blaze and canceled some races. And, you know, Rob Goen's been on 10 Junk Miles talking about, you know, he's kind of retiring. And the guy that's taken over is a really good guy, Cav, I think is the name.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to continue some of the races. But anyways, I had a big credit with him, and I said, well, I'm just going to use my credit and buy a bunch of races this year. And ones that some of I haven't done, but I'm going back out to Brazos Bend. Actually, back up. I signed up yesterday for the Dan Man Run.
Okay. Yeah.
My brother. Yeah, it's in Oklahoma, in Madgill, Oklahoma. My brother and his wife do that every year, and it's put on by Dan Little. He's an 85-year-old attorney, and he puts on that race in honor of his wife, which I guess was a runner. But he's a very rich guy. He's got like 1,800 acres, and he's built a permanent ultra trail on his property with like steel signs showing the directions and everything. And he caters it, and the race is totally free.
Was it cool to sign up? You did it yesterday?
You have to go to the his website. It's danmanrun.com. Okay. You might be able to still sign up. I signed up yesterday. He hadn't sent me an email, so I'm not sure if I got in, but it's limited. And I know all the DDR people were registering yesterday. So
yeah, I know they fill it up every year.
Yeah, but I'm planning on going out there and doing the half marathon. I mean, he does it up to the 50-miler, but I'm just going up there. I'm going to do some filming and just have fun. And, you know, my brother and his wife. The reason I'm not doing the 50-miler is because the next weekend I got Brazos Bend 100K.
Yeah.
So I've got Run Lovit, which is end of February. So March, I don't have any races scheduled. April 2nd, I have Dan Man Run. April 9th, I have Brazos Bend 100K. And then in May, I have a 50K in Bastrop. I forget the name. It's put on Wildflower, maybe is the name. Yeah, it's put on by Trail Racing Over Texas. And then during the summer, I'm probably going to do the Tejas Trails summer series. I've done that before. That's like 4 races. They have a 30K and 60K. I think I'm going to do the 30K series. It starts at night. And those are all very close to me. 4 races during the summer. It's kind of nice because there's not many races available in the summer. Yeah, there you go. That's one of them there. Yeah.
Captain Karl's, I think.
Captain Karl's series. So I plan to do all 4 of those races more than likely. One of the races is close to Habanero. I'll probably still do it since it's 30K. And I've done something. I said every year I say I'm not going to do it again. As I signed up for Habanero again. I had extra credit, but this time more reasonable. I signed up for the 100K. I've done that one before. So I've got Captain Karl's during the summer, and then I've got Habanero 100K in August. There's also a Captain Karl's race in August too. So August I'll have 2 races. And the plan is in November going back to Arkansas Travelers. He hasn't opened up the registration yet, but it should be soon. But I want to go back and finish that race. And then that's beginning of November. So September and October probably won't do anything. Maybe some small races. I'm not sure. And then maybe in December, I'll do like 100K with Tejas Trails, one that's close. He has a couple races in December. He also has a 50K called the Mosaic 50K, which is in Liberty Hill, which is like, I'm not kidding, 5 miles from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's nice because it's on like a Cub Scout ranch, and, it's like 5-10K loops. I've done that one before. So that's a nice one. I might do that one in December. And that's the whole year. I'm not sure what I'll do next year. If I can finish these Arkansas races, my plan is next year go further away from Texas.
I can tell you're pretty prolific because your first result was in 2017. You've got over 30 ultra results on ultra signups. So
Yeah. I enjoy it a lot. And, it's not every month, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's about every month and a half I'm trying to do something because I'm using them as my long run, and I like to have fun because you know how it is. If you want to go out for a long run and you don't have aid stations, it's kind of challenging.
It's nice to have the support and see. I love seeing people too. So
you see the people, and you can do the adventure, and I do it on my bike too. Like yesterday, I was riding my bike in neighborhoods I haven't been before. You really can see an area if you're running or biking. And when I'm traveling in China, visiting suppliers and stuff, I always run around town. You can really see what's going on because when you're driving a car, you can't really see things. But same thing with trail running. I like to run at new places. And biking the same way. Just adventure.
Brazos Bend. That's the one we have in common right now. I may still sign up for some other ones, but Brazos Bend. I'm only signed up for the 50 miler, but hopefully I'll see you out there.
Yeah, I may drop down to the 50 mile. I haven't decided yet. This might take it easy. I don't want to, because I know the 50 miler is still 3 loops, and that's a long ways on that course. So
we'll see.
I may just do that.
I might drop down just because I'm still kind of recovering from my heart event that happened in October. So
yeah, it's good that you're getting almost back to normal now, huh?
Yeah, I'm just having to go slower. They're not allowing me to raise my heart rate real high, so I'm keeping my heart rate under 130 all the time. So it's like
that's good. That's very good.
I can go for a long time, but I just have to go slow. That's okay.
Yeah, same for me. I always use the word run loosely because most of the time I'm jogging. I jog the races and have fun, but I'm consistent. That's how I'm able to finish. And a lot of the fast people I end up passing towards the end of the race because they go out too fast or they didn't plan their nutrition or hydration very well. That's a nice thing about ultras is you don't have to be the fastest person, but if you're carrying your hiking poles and other people don't know to do that, or you're carrying extra batteries and other people don't know to do that.
You really know what you're doing now. There's no doubt about it because you finished so long ones.
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot of things the hard way. I remember my first Bandera 100K. I thought, well, I had my light with me, my headlamp, and I said, well, I'll be out there probably a few hours in the dark. Boy, was I wrong. I was out there about 8 hours in the dark, and about 2 miles from the finish line, my light went out. And there was a really, really nice lady that loaned me her backup light, and I finished. But after that, I always carried 2 lights, and I even carry batteries for both lights. I'm just paranoid because when you're in the forest and it's dark, boy, it's really dark.
Yes.
And I've also learned that when you want to change your batteries, it's not easy to change your batteries unless you have a second light. So
that's a good point.
Yes. Yeah, unless you're at an aid station, and it almost doesn't work that way. And I always put new batteries in too. I'm really kind of weird about my lighting, but I always use the most expensive batteries, the red top ones, and I always put in new ones. I don't care if I only use it an hour.
I always put in new ones, and then if I'm going to be out in the forest somewhere, I'm definitely going to have a second light that I know where it is.
I see so many cases where people's lights go out, and I had a funny one I taught on my channel where, and Bandera came up on a guy. It looked like it was kind of spooky because it was late at night. It was like a stick figure, and he had like this glow in the dark outfit on, and I was like, I'm hallucinating. That looks like a ghost. And it was my light shining on the back of his clothes, and I got up to him, and he had no light. I said, like, how do you see where you're going? Because Bandera is a really rocky trail. He says, I can't see.
Just stumbling along, trying not to fall.
Yeah. And, he didn't have any backup, and he was using the new technology, which you have to charge with the USB. So I couldn't even help him with my batteries. Yeah. Highly recommend use alkaline battery lights. I mean, I'm an expert in lithium ion batteries, and I was working in the industry. I think they're great for the environment, all that. But if you're running, use alkaline battery powered lights, because if you time it wrong, you're going to be stuck somewhere.
I do have one big headlight now that I bought that's on a big lithium ion that's supposed to last like 14 hours on a high thing. It works really good,
Yeah.
but I'm just carrying my backup light is one with alkaline batteries that I can.
That's the way to do it. Those are neat. There are some really neat ones out there. And I used to be on the Ultra Aspire team. They have a lot of good lithium ion lights now, but always carry a backup light, because sometimes the light can also malfunction. I have a black diamond headlamp, and it's newer than it's my newest one, but it goes out sometimes, and I don't understand why.
I would never use both of them being rechargeables. I would one, and then I'll have my other one with alkalines.
Yeah, being in procurement my whole life, they're subbed out to the lowest cost contract manufacturer. Things can go wrong. You can have battery issues. You can have contact issue. It's best to have a second one, because it's all nonsense about running in the moonlight. I don't care if you have a full moon, you're still not going to see where you're going.
Especially not tree
That's
cover.
for sure. That's for sure.
I want to be mindful of your time, not take too much. And I didn't have a lot of other questions, but I certainly appreciate you coming with me.
Oh, happy to join your live stream on your channel. You have a great channel, and a lot of good content, a lot of good stories. You definitely have a better memory than me.
Yeah. I have one bonus question though for you.
Okay.
If you could choose any favorite aid station food you would like to see at an aid station, what would it be?
Wow, that's a good one. This is gonna. You know what? Probably Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
The one lady that came from Spartan Racing, she works for Apple Law. She's an Apple lawyer. She's a famous ultra runner. I can't remember her name, but she's always fueled by Pop-Tarts. And I think Pop-Tarts are great, but they don't work carrying them, because
they'll crumble. But
they crumble. You open up if you put them in your pack and you carry them, and when you open it up, it'll be all pieces.
Yeah.
But if they had those at aid stations, that would be great, because that's a lot of calories. And I keep some in my drop bag. If I use a drop bag, I don't. Most of the time I don't. But if I have a drop bag, I'll put Pop-Tarts in there. And the one lady that won the Run Lovit last year, she's running again this year. Her name is, I think, Linda Hearns or something like that. She uses Crustables, those things that are peanut butter and jelly prepackaged. But some of that old school stuff, I think, is just as good as some of these, using goos and stuff.
I agree. I'm definitely into eating. I've gotten to where a lot of my ultras, I just make some sandwich, like for my time, I make sandwiches, and I'll eat a sandwich partway through. Kind of strange.
I do too. I'll toast the bread so it doesn't get all soggy and all that, and I'll put it in my drop bags. Or if it's an ultra that's mini loops, those are the easy ones to do. Like every 10K or something. If you go and buy your stuff, I'll put a bunch of sandwiches in there and eating real food. That's my best advice to people getting into trail running, is try to use as much real food as you can.
I'll use that is not that I'll use like a drink mix or just to get more calories in. That's easier, but I definitely try to eat mostly real food. So
yeah, definitely, and especially when you get into the night hours, because I do the same during the day. I use a lot of the liquid calorie, Tailwind or whatever they're serving. Actually, I use them all.
Yeah.
But I just get tired of drinking it, after 12 hours or so. I have to do something different. Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, I don't guess I have anything else, but thank you so much for coming on. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about your Lovit coming up, your Lovit race.
Will do. And one thing I forgot to mention, we have a superstar showing up at Lovit. Speedgoat Karl is going to show up. He's on the list.
Cool.
So I think he's going for his number 42 or 43 100-mile win, but there's only 52 of us running the 100-miler, and last week Speedgoat was added to the list. So,
well, I think he's got like a win in 20 or 21 consecutive years, so I guess he's trying to add one more.
Yeah, I guess he saw some low-hanging fruit to win this race, but it's a tough one. I'm sure he knows that. I mean, coming from, I think he lives in Utah, so he's used to those kind of mountains and stuff. But yeah, we'll see him out there. Hopefully I can grab a short video with him.
Be cool.
Yeah.
He likes the tough ones too, I think, anyway. So he's
yeah. Okay, Jay, well, have a great day.
Okay, well, thank you so much for calling in, being on, Richard. I appreciate it.
Will do. Thank you, man. Bye-bye.